shining a beacon on the bazaar.
Tell you what, it's been a busy time at Cove, hasn't it?
We've been busy boys.
Busy boys.
As always, but this is even busier than normal.
Well, I haven't been able to believe the amount of shipping that's been coming past. That's
been a lot, hasn't
It's
there?
been lots of lighthouse activity, hasn't there? You know what I mean? So we saved a lot of ships.
Yeah, most of them, Skip. We received most of the ships.
Well, it's the ones that we like the look of, you see.
Yeah, pretty ones get through, don't they? Yeah,
Well, when you've not been on thing, every time I see one that I particularly like, I might turn the light off for a bit.
Just to get it closer.
Yeah, to get a bit close, just so I can see.
Yeah.
But then again, you won't be wearing that wonderful 70s attire that you've been...
I love it. The flares, the shoes.
Yeah, because that fashion container that sort of came aboard, you know what I mean? Those platforms are about 1.5 feet high.
I can't get through any doors anymore, it's so huge.
You know, that hat... Why have you got it on top of that other hat and that other hat?
Because I've got so many hats.
Oh.
I'm just sharing that love, that fashion love out there.
Yeah, because that's the bounty of the Cove, you see. You know what I mean? Because although we're
the
busy
bounty of the Cove. That's nice. Yeah,
we need it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if we're busy boys, you've got to have a few little rewards. Because the pay's shit.
You get paid.
Well, what happens is I do get paid. I get our pay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've got to do the side hustles and get my money that way, and you get paid.
I get paid. Yeah, but from that pay, I buy the fish fingers.
Oh, all right. Okay,
yeah, and I buy the grog.
Yeah, it don't come from nowhere, does
and
it?
I noticed you were getting a bit sort of like mutinous the other day.
Yeah.
So this is why I brought that ship aboard, so you can get lovely clothes.
I'm getting a bit warm with all these jackets on.
You look like a pimp.
I feel like one.
It's like, I'm going to get you, sucker.
Get all them dolphins. Get a new stable.
But we've got a lot to uphold. You see, as the most famous lighthouse in the world. We're on one of the few manned lighthouses.
There's not many left.
Yeah, they're all motorised and stuff. We've got to uphold a bit of fashion. We've got to look cool. You know what I mean?
Walk the walk.
This all-in-one silver jumpsuit that I'm wearing. You know, things like this. You want to look cool. So when
it's a bit glary though, isn't it? Look,
do you know what,
tight as well.
One thing that's it. You want to see all the details, don't you?
I don't.
Yeah. If you look, just look here. Just look a bit closer there. Can you see mushroom?
Oh, it is. It's soft.
Yeah. Well, it is now. But that's all part of the fun of it, you see. You know what I mean? Because this is Kraken Cove, the podcast that shines a beacon on the bazaar, and I'm Matt.
I'm a Benny.
And we're a pair of podcasters that are working from a lighthouse, shining our light out, not just on shipping. We're not just trying to tempt the ships in so we get lovely things. We're also shining our light out onto mysteries, strangeness, odd news stories, Fortiana. Yeah, so that's what we do. And do you know what springs in the air, Arcade?
It's getting there, isn't it? I came out of a door the day, you know, you used to just smell it, you think, spring? There's something changed, you know what I mean? The air were fresh and nice.
I wonder where all the spring air is when it's not here.
Yeah, true. I think it's made, isn't it? I think it's like the sun, wind changes, that's one. Then sun shines a bit, and then it just like opens up the earth a bit.
I think it does open up the earth a bit, and I think it's even like a bit of foliage, a few plants.
That'll be a big one as well.
That's it. I think, and that's when you get those.
Everything's waking up, isn't it?
Everything's waking up, including you.
Yeah,
which is quite nice because you're quite a sleepy boy.
I am sleepy all the time. God, I love sleep.
Other day when you were, because you'd had to empty that massive container out. You know what I mean? Couldn't get out of bed, could we?
I couldn't get out of bed.
I'm ready to make a cove, and there you are.
You blobbed 2 weeks, so you were too busy. I will fuck that Monday, man. I absolutely couldn't get up. I couldn't get up.
So what we need is a few suggestions, Steve, because although we're full-time sort of like lighthouse keepers, we do have jobs as well.
Yeah.
We need ideas for jobs for Benny. What would be a good idea for a Benny?
Yeah, side hustle. Yeah, let me know what I could do.
Side hustle. That's it. You know, but the main job, obviously, is being the lighthouse keepers.
Yeah.
And because of that, we need to actually get on with our proper job, which is shining the light out, find some mysteries, find some stories, and make a podcast.
That'd be nice. Have you been casting?
I've been casting, Arcade, yeah.
Good lad.
So I'm going to fire up the light now. And although there's a ship out there that's perilously close to the rocks at the moment.
Let's see what we get.
Sorry, lads, you'll just have to sort yourselves out for a bit because we've got to shine the light in a different direction.
I hope it's an oil container, though. That could be a bit shit.
It could be a little bit shit, but let's face basic dolphins and things. They've had it coming to them.
Yeah, we just set fire to oil, can't we? Toast them all.
Oh, toasted dolphin. Yeah, that. Well, especially after the last story we had about dolphins, we don't want the sort of taste of a wonderful dolphin meat and piss.
Yeah, chewing it away on each other.
Dirty bastards. Yeah. But just think though, this sea is so full of so many animals. And they're all pissing and spunking and shitting.
It's true, innit? That's why it tastes so funny to see,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, can you imagine if it was me and you, right, and every time we took a piss or a poo, right, it all just floated up and we all just inhaled it.
Like just in Bath, just pissing and shitting and just rolling around.
Like that anyway in Bath.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also, I have to get a sieve in there after
Sob ends and sweet corn.
So without further ado, kid, let's get casting.
Oh, please.
Well, I think the elephant in the room politically at the moment, you know what I mean? It's all right, you've got everything going on with America and stuff like that, and Trump, and he's an absolute piece of shit, you know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. Yeah.
It is really weird.
But this is all very calculated, I think. I think it's things like all the Hitler salutes, the fascism, all this sort of stuff. This is all dog whistling to the younger people of America, get them all, mainly the young men, the jocks and the chads and stuff from America. This is to sort of, and this could happen here very, very easily. You know, it's very easy to happen here as well. Is to just get those young people on board who are sick of the sort of like,
they need a change,
perceived weakness of people, and they want sort of strong men. Yeah. And this is what this is all about. This sort of like, you know, it's all right to do what you want to do. You know, Hitler salutes or whatever it is. You know, and we've been talking. Oh, one thing I did want to think is we talked about them doing it a Roman salute, didn't we?
Yes, it's weirdly enough it was the same week, wasn't it? We did it before Elon's.
Yeah. And so the Nazi salute, people say, no, it's not a Nazi salute, it's a Roman salute. You know, it's the open hand. Romans never did it.
Didn't they?
No, they never, ever did it. That salute is a purely fascist salute.
Shit.
It was Mussolini started it. It was all that sort of stuff. That it was this fakery that it was a Roman thing of an open hand and a greeting. It isn't. It's a purely Nazi salute. So when you see people like Elon and Steve Bannon's done it, hasn't it?
Who's he?
Steve Bannon was the guy who originally got Trump into power in the first election. He was in, you know what I mean? He was like the right hand man who got him there, and he's since sort of fallen from grace and all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? But he's still sort of prowling around. And if you see a picture of Steve Bannon. Do you know when the evil emperor becomes really, really evil in all the Star Wars movies? Yeah. He gets all craggy and sort of watery and wild. He looks like that. He's absolutely infused with evil, you know. But the one I really want to kind of come up with is basically Elon Musk, you know what I mean?
He is weird.
He is super weird. Apparently, he's... I don't know who it is. There's a woman who just either through IVF, I'm not sure how she's done it, but she's just had his 14th child.
What?
He's got 14 kids now as Elon Musk.
Shit.
And as that has been happening, about a week after this woman came out, this another woman who's already got 2 of his kids or 3 of his kids or something. What? She's come out and said, I just want to help celebrate the fact that, you know, the 14th child of Elon Musk's been born by saying that his 15th child's been born. She was already pregnant with yet another of his kids.
Oh my God, it's like Voice from Brazil, isn't it? Loads of little adults.
Well, it is, but this is exactly what what's he called, the pedo who was American guy who had the island.
Epstein.
Yeah, this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to get hundreds and hundreds of his own children, sort of like basically by hundreds of different women, to have almost like a child farm of his offspring to sort of populate the earth. But Elon's already doing it. He's having sort of dozens of children, you know what I mean?
What's up with his social skills and that, though? He's really fucking strange.
Well, it's one of these things as well, where when you're at a certain level within society, you have to hide a little bit, you know, your glitches and your weirdness.
Yeah.
But when he's become basically a digital and financial emperor, you know, he feels like he can do what he wants, and he can do what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, no one's going to hold Elon Musk to account.
He don't wear a suit at White House either, does he? But he don't get all the slav.
No, he doesn't, does he?
You think about it? Yeah. He has a chainsaw. And he gets away with it.
Gets away with everything. And one thing he's getting away with at the moment, right, is the Starlink satellites.
Oh yes, they're freaky.
They're freaky, right?
You know what I mean? First time I saw them.
Well, it did to a lot of people, and even now, you know, the whole thing that happened with the UFOs in sort of like New Jersey and all that sort of stuff. A load of the ones I saw, what it has been discovered now, was the Starlink satellites going over as well.
Right, yeah.
Because they go over at such frequency, you know. Do you know how many Starlink satellites there are?
I'd say fucking... Because I saw it and it just didn't stop for ages. I'd say 50.
Yeah. See, that's a good thing. There's 7,000.
Oh, wow.
There's 7,000 satellites set up there, right?
In control of him?
In control of him. He is basically just about controlling space now. He's got... he hasn't got a monopoly on it.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of other people sending loads and loads of stuff up. And I think about a year and a bit ago, we did say, look, there's loads of these takeoffs going on. The spaceship's going up all the time. Why do they need this sort of, you know, this sort of production line of spaceships going into space? Yeah. Basically, what's been happening is they're putting satellites up at such a phenomenal rate.
And it's just communications type of shit.
Well, as far as we know.
Yeah.
But then again, think about what communications are. Communication is everything. You know what I mean? So there's the machines that are up there. I don't think there's any sort of lasers and stuff like that.
I'm fucking going to say, well, let's go down GoldenEye route again. You need a rewatch.
Yeah, but it's... Back to the 80s or 90s. Is it 90s?
90s,
yeah. I might have to have a little rewatch of that. But the issue they're having now is... Right, so there's all these satellites, all these Starlink satellites going into space, right? Yeah. But so I don't think there's things like lasers and stuff like that. I don't think they're putting the weaponry that's up there. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the sort of satellite usage or anything like that. But it's information's absolutely everything.
True, actually.
If you control information, you control everything as well, because you can spout that information out to your word, your message, everything you like out. This is the thing about controlling Twitter. People say, "Oh, he's absolutely ruined Twitter and stuff." And he has, but he hasn't taken over Twitter or X. He hasn't done that to make it a success. He's done that to be control of the mouthpiece, control of the information, control of the knowledge that's getting through to people, controlling it. It's not about making money, it's about power. That's what he's done. Obviously, he doesn't give a fuck about things like Tesla, the cars, because he's crashed Tesla, as it were. You know, he's got a bigger picture thing and a bigger agenda.
He has, hasn't he, there? He's turned it.
And he's basically wanting to be... This is why other people are using information now against him. So, for example, people are all, you know, they're doing all these wonderful sort of memes about him holding the lead and Trump being a dog. There's all that going on, because what they're trying to do is get through to Trump and say, look at you, you look weak now because you're next to this guy who looks to be controlling you. And I think they want to turn Trump against Elon, and it will happen because his ego's so massive. You know what I mean? He's such a narcissist. Is Trump? He will look and say, "You're making me look weak." But the flip side is he needs Elon's money. He needs that power. He needs that space control.
Can you believe this shit's happening? I'm sorry and all. It might be a bit naive, but what the fuck is going on?
Fucking messy,
and what's that brain tumour boy? You know, that one that had worms in his brain, like Kennedy. He's involved and all.
That's
it. You know, like 1, 2, 3 of the weirdest people on earth are in the biggest.
But it's not just that. It's not 1, 2, 3. If you're looking now, the people who are being put in charge. I think he's in charge of that, the FBI or the CIA or something like that. The poor podcaster in charge.
No wrong with that, Skip. I'm available. You wanted another job for pennies? Get me to the top. That's
you MI5, maybe there. Just as you are now in your little platforms. Rocking up with your cane. We're going to sort this shit. Get out. Where's the coffee machine? Let's get cracking. But this is the thing where we are now, in the fact that it's populism. This is the issue you have with populism, where it's the ordinary people look at somebody. I can remember it happening with memory's fucking shit today.
Tony Blair had a bit of it, didn't he? When it was like
that's very very good.
I fell for that fucking bullshit. Like a dickhead.
Well, this is a bit. Then people going about Starmer. I mean, I'm not a fan of Starmer, to be honest.
Who?
Keir Starmer. You know, the Labour of the Prime Minister.
Never heard of him before. I'm joking.
But people don't like him because he hasn't got a big enough personality for them.
True.
You know what I mean? People like Zelensky because the guy was a comedian originally.
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, I think he did. Voice Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But people like him as well because he's got personality.
Yes.
It's all about cult of personality now. It's all about, because we're so saturated in media, the only people we can understand is people from media. And this is the people they're putting in charge now. It's people that media figures.
That's frightening, isn't it? That's really fucking... I suppose Hitler as well. That's how he did.
Absolutely true. Well said.
Shit.
That's what it's about. So, like I said, I still want that picture, or that series of pictures on my wall in the studio, but I'm not going to put it up.
You can't,
because you can't see a series of...
Have a series of pictures that
Or you cannot have a series of pictures of Hitler on your wall as an inspirational image.
You can.
You can do a massive fascist.
Yeah, Christmas is sorted. Leave it to me, Skip.
Fucking hell, can you imagine what lists we'd end up on there?
You know that bit when I'm like going, listen, I've got a picture from my brother, you know what I mean? I want to hang it on his wall.
This is his address. This is his name, you know what I mean? And it's that sort of thing. And I mean, for those who didn't listen to that particular episode, there's a series of pictures that Hitler did before he actually came into power, where this really amazing and total fascist photographer, they set up this photo shoot with Hitler where he went through this series of powerful postures, hands thrusting, face scowling, clenched fists, hands open.
And you can feel the power from it.
The power.
It's fucking frightening.
And he knew full well that the way to actually get to people is through imagery, through posture, through stature.
Where
and what
did
they
he
remember.
get all them ideas from? See, that's pretty advanced, isn't it, that?
Well, the irony of things like that is, I personally think from silent movies.
Yeah,
this is my personal opinion.
Movie, didn't he? Yeah.
Because those actions, those gigantic movements, were what people did. Theatrical movements, exactly right. It was the theatre of it. That's what they did. I mean, if you look at David Bowie, when he was sort of going through, he was the kabuki theatre was his main thing that he took inspiration
from. A mime, wasn't he? Yeah,
that's it. That guy who was. Do you know who that mime was?
No.
That mime was, I can't remember his name now. I'll have to, but he was a super interesting person. Was that the mime who did that and who taught him? And they eventually had a sexual relationship. You know what I mean?
Really quiet one. No noise at all.
Actions speak louder than words, aren't it?
Are they enjoying it?
Yeah, you can't tell. The faces look happy. But he had a really good role.
Yeah.
He was in The Wicker Man.
No,
he was the barman in The Wicker Man.
Oh shit, he's a good role as well.
He's the one that goes, here we go, we've got the umbilical for the little rowan on the rowan tree.
Yeah, he's really him. No mean. Yeah, that's a good one.
So he was
Dalt were fed up.
Absolute more. Britt Eklund, I think it was.
Yeah.
Had some wanks over that.
Oh no, I think everybody. Wow, it's a good scene.
It comes so unexpected in The Wicker Man. That
it
well,
does, doesn't it? Yeah. Songs. I've got downloaded the playlist. Yeah. Songs are ace.
Well, that whole the whole album for that. It wasn't Pentangle. I'm trying to think of the name of the band.
I know it as well.
But it was one folk artist wrote the entire thing.
Yeah.
And there is a touring show of it going around called Sing Along a Wicker Man.
I've heard of this.
I'm going to get tickets to it, but I've been too busy. But the music's iconic.
Oh,
it's absolutely incredible.
It's that tree one.
That's it.
Brilliant.
It's superb. So but we as once more we digress.
Yes.
But basically, what it is for people who want power, influence, and to be seen. It isn't always the words that count. It's the actions. It's a physical representation. It is the movement, things like being on a stage and throwing a great big Nazi salute.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, when he just get back to it and follow up.
It's striking. It's unusual. I mean, people as well when they're talking. You said it the other day talking about Trump when they. You said he's using his picture for his sort of like White House photograph. It's the same expression he pulled when he was in jail because it's almost like that is my struggle, Mein Kampf. You know, that is him sort of saying, like, I'm one of you because I've been at the lowest as well. I've been sentenced to jail. You know what I mean? But look what I've come back from it because I'm a common man. It's the establishment has tried to get me, and we're against the establishment. There's nothing more establishment than Trump. There's nothing more establishment in a way than Elon, because the new establishment isn't the people in the grey suits. It's the multi-billionaires and millionaires who have got that money and the power and the influence, who are now the new lords, ladies, dukes, earls. It's very strange era that we're living in, you know. But because of that, Elon's allowed to do what he wants. So he sends all these thousands of satellites into space. Now, the space is already a cluttered place. It's getting to a point where we really do have to start thinking about, we've got a lot of shit up there, what we're going to do about it. And the problem that he's done with Starlink satellites is they keep falling down, they keep coming out of the sky.
Fuck.
It was in January 2025, so this is in 1 month this year. 120 of the Starlink satellites finally gave up the ghost and plummeted into the atmosphere, right? The issue they have with this now is the finding is they think, oh shit, these are just satellites, they could hurt somebody, all that sort of stuff, you know? That's not the big problem. Because of the strange things that are actually in the satellites, the materials, the exotic materials, big one is aluminium oxides, they're burning in the atmosphere. They're harming the ozone layer.
Jesus Christ.
So you've got 120 satellites a month sometimes smashing into the Earth's atmosphere, vaporising the oxides, exotic metals and things, polluting the atmosphere and damaging the ozone layer again.
Bloody hell.
Nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's cared. You know what I mean?
It's just so bizarre. These really old satellites. It's just something that he's launching that many up. He knows that there's a cycle of them all coming back down again.
Well, if he built these machines to be less disposable, you could technically have little boosters on them and stuff, you know, to keep them in that orbit. He's not doing that. He's made. Right, for example, now you're buying a washing machine now, right? You're paying 300 quid or something like that for a washing machine. 25, 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, you were paying 300 quid for a washing machine. Right, the reason is back then that was a lot of money, it was an investment, it was a machine that would last.
Yes, that's the main one.
Nowadays it's not. You buy a washing machine, the washing machine breaks after 2.5, 3 years, you get another washing machine because it only costs you 300 quid. Same as your fridge, same as your cooker, everything's built cheaply. These are the washing machine, these satellites of the space world. So the disposable, rather than making it to last, make it to stay up there. And why is Elon doing that? Because he's getting paid to put more satellites into space. 120 satellites have gone down. What we're going to do? We're going to have to send up a load more rockets.
Send up 500.
Yeah, send more. Burn up, they come through. He's made this disposable cycle of dangerous things coming into space.
Why can't I get a phone reception in my fucking kitchen then with all this shit? It's like a dead spot, double-layered terraced wall. Fuck that.
But this is the other side of things as well. It's like by now, with the amount of shit that's up there, you should be able to get a fucking signal up your own asshole. But it's not happening.
He's fucking. I can't. Something else is going. Something else is in them satellites asking.
Well, but everybody else is saying as well. You know, why is Musk trying to get to Mars? Why is Musk trying to get to Mars? There's only one reason Musk's trying to get to Mars, is because people are giving him loads and loads of money to build machinery and equipment and technology to get to Mars.
He'll never get to fucking Mars.
Oh, he will. He will get to Mars. I don't think him as a person will get to Mars.
Yeah.
His technology will get to Mars, but to what end?
Well, they can't send that's the worst. They can't send someone off to Mars.
We've had this conversation before about a year and a bit ago, right, about this. Why send at Mars? You know, when we have a great big piece of land mass out there which we could inhabit ourselves. Greenland.
Well, what?
Right. So the whole of Greenland is this vast sort of like you could almost call it off the coast of Canada. It's up towards the northern hemisphere, gigantic, almost uninhabited, vast area
and
of
it's
land.
not green, I've
and
heard.
it's covered in ice, right? It's got vast stores of mineral wealth underneath the ice. Now, you've obviously not been keeping up with this a little bit, so we'll give you a bit of an update. Donald Trump has threatened to invade Greenland.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
He's threatened to invade Canada.
Yeah.
What he's now looking at is, because it's that same mindset, we need to expand, we need to get places. Everyone's talking about Mars, but that same conversation I've had with you is saying, why bother going all the way to space and on a 3-year journey when all you need to do, what's empty? Canada's pretty empty. Greenland's completely empty, and they have these vast stores of mineral wealth.
Same with Ukraine, that's like one of the richest
just
places
about
on Earth. And another place is the richest place with all that shit, the Congo, and it's constantly getting bummed.
Yeah,
Heart of Darkness Arcade. It is. I listened to that whole thing, audio book, brilliant book,
absolutely amazing book,
really haunting.
Yeah,
and so topical still. It's fun.
Well, this is it, but this is a problem with. I mean, and as a result of these bad examples that we have of people like Elon Musk, sort of like getting things into disposable machinery into space and stuff. You got all your oil companies now backtracking on their greenwashing. Before, what they were doing was sort of like they said, "Well, we're still doing oil and gas, but what we're doing, we're really leaning at the sustainables now." They stopped.
Oh, fuck.
Because it's these bad examples. It's rampant.
It's a land grab in a sense, isn't it? A mineral grab. It's just so coincidence it's them two places.
Yeah. So it's harsh times. I mean, it's a bit of a dark subject, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's something we should cast our light onto and notice, this bad behaviour. And as you quite rightly said throughout this entire conversation, it's fucking weird, isn't it?
It is really weird.
Yeah, we're living in weird times.
Everywhere I look, it's really fucking weird.
Do you know what I find, though? But one thing I will recommend to people who are getting a bit overwhelmed by this sort of thing is get your walking boots on, get your hiking boots on and stuff, right? And put yourself either a day and a half or 2 days to one side. If you've ever wild camped, now's the time to do it. Wait till it's a little bit warm. You don't want to freeze your knackers off. But go off into a wilderness somewhere. I mean, it's illegal to wild camp in the Lake District, but fucking do it anyway, right? Scotland, you're allowed to wild camp all you like, right?
Nice,
So find yourself a little bit of wilderness, take all your stuff in a bag, go pop up a little tent, and spend 24 to 48 hours off your phone, just somewhere wild. And what you'll do is you'll see the weather changes, but nothing else. Nothing else. The sun goes along the sky. You'll realise all the mad activities that's getting pumped into your ears by the news cycles and stuff don't matter. It don't matter. And another great piece of advice that somebody said recently about news and stuff, there's all this, all right, well, this is what we're doing, we're disseminating a certain amount of news ourselves. But they've stopped looking at the news, they said, because the news that's important to me will find me. I don't have to go trying to trawl through all the news to find something that's important to me. So, to a certain extent, keep your fingers on the pulse. Be realising, we don't want the wool pulled over our eyes. We don't want fascism creeping into our environment.
We're not looking.
But don't read too much into what's in the news that's all bad news.
Fuck them, Arkin. That's all I think. Fuck it. Fuck them. I'm getting involved with a couple of tins. That's what I do. Nice audio book. I fucking love audio.
Yeah, I do.
Audible. It's fucking gorgeous, man.
That's it. Not cheap though, is it?
It ain't, no, but I'm still on my free. I've got 12 credits, I've still got 3 left, and I'm like,
spend about £50 a month on it.
Yeah, I bet when you get to pay.
But that's the thing, when you start buying for it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm
talking of books, and I might be able to wrap this all together. All this,
lovely, Arkin.
An old book. An old book.
It's called. You might not read. It's called the Bible.
Well, funnily enough, A Time Before Genesis.
Let me wait. Les Dawson.
Oh, fuck off! How do you know that, you big bitch? A Time Before Genesis, it weaves together the JFK assassination, UFOs, Nazis, vampires, Moses and devil worship, and the second coming of Christ. It's deadly serious.
Yeah.
Les Dawson!
And if for those of you who don't know, Les Dawson was like the epitome of the great comedian of the 1970s and the 80s.
Racist, sexist.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
Give up.
No, really, he wasn't. You're thinking of Bernard Manning.
Why, Les Dawson? I thought he were a bit naughty.
No, he would be the one who'd do the joke like, sort of like, no, take my mother-in-law.
No,
Please take my mother-in-law. But he was actually a very intelligent writer and creator.
All right.
Superbly talented pianist.
Keyboard, would he?
Yeah, because if you
Wow.
listened to the things, he had this thing, like a comedy routine, where he'd play the piano badly.
Now that's cool. I know, like
Right.
with Tommy Cooper, isn't it? He's such a bad magician. He's one of the best because he's managed to do it like that.
That's it,
yeah.
and that's what he did. This incredible talent and knack. But Les Dawson was a hugely intelligent man, highly intelligent, and very, very good at wordplay, comedy making, and stuff like
yeah.
that. But there was more to him than met the eye. Les Dawson, I admired him vastly.
I liked it when he did that old woman, but he stuck his mouth.
Yeah, but this is the thing. He did that in the common, the common touch, in a weird way, and that's what his whole thing was. You know what I
fair
mean?
play.
A northern comic. He was on the northern comic circuit and stuff like this. But no, he wasn't racist. He didn't do a lot of work like that at all. In an era when it was very much like that.
popular.
But he was up there with people like Bob Monkhouse and all these great comedians of that era. Les Dawson was another notch above, and he did write this absolutely Billy Bonk Bonk.
I've got someone desperately trying to get it, you know what I mean? He said it's about 60 quid or something like that.
At the moment, it's retailing between £120. I found a copy
I
for.
fucking could kick you in the... Are you lying to me? Are you fucking lying
The
to me?
majority of the copies you can buy are about £65.
How do you know these? Why do you know this? Why haven't you brought it up? I just something wrong with your head, I swear to God. That's freaky.
See, it's a proper collector's item, is that?
Yeah? Oh, I want it myself. I'm
Yeah.
not paying £60 for it. I'll try and get lucky in bloody Oxfam or something.
Well, that's the place to look for it, because you do find books like that. You know, it's something. Oh, hang about that's because nobody who's collecting Les Dawson books.
Exactly.
And I don't know what else he's written, to be honest. But
There's
it's
supposed to be a load of books, but that's the big one.
Yeah?
It's like Columbo at Christmas. You try and get hold of that, but bloody hell, it's about £1,000.
Wait, what?
Columbo at Christmas, it's called. It's about a
What's that about then?
A murder happens at Christmas and Columbo's involved. It's
a book?
Yeah, it's from 70s, you know, just one of them random, but it's supposed to be the cosiest Christmas read ever. I'm so jealous. I need that book in my life. But
Well, there's a good book. This Len Dayton, he wrote the Ipcris File and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And he did something like something like the Spy's Cookbook.
Oh,
he did, right? Because if you in the Ipcris File, especially in the film, there's loads of like recipes and stuff like this, and cooking and talking about sort of things.
I've got that cooking with Columbo.
Yeah, no.
I've got it. Some lady wrote it.
Is that something when you're cooking and you get right to end at recipe, you just go, oh, and just one more thing?
Yeah, you forgot the
Onions.
spices, yeah. No, it's each episode.
Coriander.
Some good stuff in it. Nice curry.
Cooking with Columbo.
Yeah, really
but then
good chili,
he did another great book, did Len Dayton, called Airship Down.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about airship crashes.
Wow.
So you think about that, there's a guy who wrote about spy novels.
Yeah,
then he wrote a great cookbook. Then he wrote this thing on about the airships and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he shows Les Dawson, he might be a great comedian, but this book might be well worth a read, kid.
You need to read it. Tying all them together, that's it. Yeah. Keep a lookout for that, Skip.
You do realise, like with vaping now, it's coming to a crescendo, don't you?
Would you, well, I don't know if it's true or not when people say, you know, vape is actually terrible for you. I ain't even clicked on it yet.
But no, they're saying now, like with vaping, there's a few doctors and stuff coming out, and they're saying that it could be worse than smoking.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and they're saying one of the worst parts is because people are vaping indoors, they're vaping everywhere, they're just going around vape. Like with fags, it's like, I like the occasional cigarette.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'll have the occasional roll up. But it's like I was working this weekend. I had a roll up at 9:30. Then I had the next roll up at 4:20.
Oh,
You know, so
I
you-
ain't smoking.
You're doing it wrong, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, whereas if I was vaping, you could be sort of stood there vaping, have a cheeky
Fucking, I
vape.
don't stop. I'm like a train. I'm just
Yeah.
fucking just pouring at me everywhere.
That's the
Wake
issue.
up in the morning, I'm like, I'm doing it in my sleep. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Give 'em out.
that's what everyone's doing. It's like everybody I know who vapes
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I think this is what you have to be careful. Is there's chemicals involved. You're inhaling it. You just don't know what the build up and the toxicity could be.
Fuck all. I'll live through everything, me.
Like a cockroach.
Yeah. So far, so good. Skip. No one's got me.
got you some. And these you will, you bastard. You'll probably outlast me and everything. I did 20 odd years of cycling. I kept fit. I don't drink. I hardly smoke anything now. I have a really healthy diet. I'll keel over clutching
Yeah,
the
that's
chest
it.
while you're there with spilling a pint on me.
I was got a pipe on go as well. I suppose Jerry think out a pipe and a vape. It's fucking ridiculous.
You drink like a fish.
Yeah, I do like a fish. Pipes are alright, actually.
I always used to smoke a pipe.
Yeah,
I
do
did like to
like
smoke
cherry
pipes as well.
and cherry menthol. Like.
For a lot of years, I smoked our granddad's pipe.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Granddad.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I smoked that pipe.
Oh,
that's
that's
something
it.
I got. And it's weirdly enough, though, I don't know what's happened to it. It was just this. I think it was in a house movie. It just sort of seems to
Oh,
disappear.
that's a
I'm a bit
shame.
gutted about that.
Yeah,
Really, you know what I mean?
that
But
is a
yeah,
shame.
I did have one of his
Oh,
pipes.
that's
Yeah, so I
nice.
kept the tradition on there.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be somewhere. I know it's not gone.
Yeah,
It will be somewhere.
Packed up.
But anyway, just to sort of roll back on what you talk about books.
Yes.
I've got a little bit of a book recommendation for everyone.
Bit of a review.
Yeah, a bit of a
Cove review.
Yeah, a Cove review. So this is a weird one. And the writer himself I found quite unusual. And he's a writer called Adam S. Leslie.
I thought you were going to say Les Dawson. You were going to get headbutted. I love you, Skip. I love you.
Gonna knock me
You're like,
fronts out.
I'm thinking, are you looking through my window? I was researching on the toilet. How do you know this shit?
And this is a book called Lost in the Garden.
All right.
Right. Now, this writer, it's so weird. It almost feels like he's kind of come from nowhere.
Yeah, so he's a modern writer.
He's a modern writer.
Yeah.
It's a modern book. It's gaining loads of traction now. Is this particular book? Lots of people reading. Lots of people are really loving it. It's not getting a lot of publicity as such, but it's getting reviews from sort of various places and stuff. And it's becoming, should we say, it's getting a little bit bigger than just a cult classic now.
Yeah.
Even though it's a fairly recent book. And it's around this odd village, which is in England. And what's happened to start with is the people that they know, who they know are dead, are walking the earth.
Wow.
So they're just calling them ghosts now, they're saying. But there are real people, very strong. They're generally wearing smart suits, like, as if you've been buried in that suit. But then they were worried, these are zombies, they've come out of the earth. But then what they've done, they've experimentally dug up the earth to find... And the bodies are still there. But these are almost like these husks walking around, stumbling about. So you might see, like, your granddad or something just walking across the M62 and you're thinking, what, oh, hang about.
What, all mouldy in that?
No. They look pale. They don't recognise anything.
That's
But
horrible.
They're very strong. But it's not like they're just bumbling. So if you get too near them, they can easily kill you.
Whoa.
So they'll just stove your head in just as a matter of aggression.
Well,
because
they are pretty violent.
they're very violent.
Oh, God.
But in this book, it's almost like a few years down the line from this happening.
Yeah.
And first of all, the government warnings were coming out, sort of saying, stay indoors, do not do this, be very, very careful. Then it all just went quiet. But everyone said, well, what do we do now? And they said, well, just have to get on with life. So everyone in the village...
Can you stove the red in, like?
No, they won't be killed. So you can run them over, do all sorts, and they just kind of won't be killed before you know it's like a day or two later, you'll see that same person wandering about.
Wow.
This is very odd. But also, what happened is, like, first of all, the very old people died.
Yeah.
Because they would just, they'd just make mistakes, they'd go out in the garden and get something from the allotment, and before you know it, one of these ghosts then killed them.
God.
But then the older generation, so people in the sort of like 60s and 50s and stuff, they bit by bit got bumped off because they again made mistakes and weren't quite fleet of foot enough to get away.
Yeah. Just time and odds.
Yeah. So then the generations that's left is all those people in the 20s. So there's these people, but they're still running things. They're sort of keeping a cinema going. They're keeping various bits going. They're sort of like doing a bit of shopping and sorting stuff out. But they become very carefree and odd characters. But there's a renowned town called Almonby, which is nearby, and all like all the sort of like government warnings when you're a kid of stuff like that, quicksand and stuff. All their warnings was never go to Almonby. And that's this almost like the epicenter of this weirdness. So whoever goes to Almonby never comes back.
Oh, God.
And they don't know why.
Yeah.
But for one reason or another, this group they call the Chicken Club, where what they used to do is they used to just give each other's dares regarding the ghosts. So this one big strong lad used to wrestle the ghosts.
That's funny.
Yeah. Or they'd have like games of hide and seek where they'd go into the woods and they'd have to close their eyes for 5 minutes and see what happens in case ghosts come too near.
Oh, God.
So they kind of made a game about it all.
Yeah, but probably got really good at the wares and,
so gave them a bit
skills.
survival, that's it, you know. But it's funny, it's quirky, it's beautiful and very charming is this book.
Yeah.
But there's this underlying air of sinisterness, you know, or if that's a word, sinisterness, or a sinister undertone. It is now, yeah. So it's called Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. It's a big old book, it's a bit of a beast of a book.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. It's amazing. It's dreamlike and strange and odd. And you feel almost like it's a little bit trippy in a way, but it's also got a very big, strong element of folk horror.
Oh, so, it sounds like English writer then.
English writer, very unusual character, and to write this amazing book from nowhere is really struck me. So that's my little tip for a book to get out there, get yourself and get.
We'll have a little review on the Cove.
Yeah,
some
that's
good
it.
feedback on that. Well done.
Let's get back to a bit of casting.
Let's please.
This is a bit of. I think at somewhere along the line we've covered this one before, right? And it's the guy who lost his Bitcoin fortune.
Yeah, that one. Like, is he Irish? And he had to go to prison, and someone like his landlord sold his golf clubs or something like that.
I think that was one. I don't think this one is that particular thing. This is a guy who. I think it's about 10 years ago or 12 years ago. Something they said 12 years ago. Yeah, he said what happens. He says he described how in the summer of 2013, this guy's called James Howells, and he's only 39 now. So this is sort of like 12 years ago. So like, I mean, he's sort of like late 20s when this first occurred. Howells described how in the summer of 2013 he accidentally put a hard drive containing his Bitcoin wallet in a black bag during an office sort out and left it in the hall of his house. His then partner, which is very telling, he's said to have mistaken the bag for rubbish and taken it with her to the tip to dump.
Mr. T, thank you. He told me a little bit of this. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Now, this guy has spent the next 12 years trying to find this hard drive.
Oh, no.
And he thinks he knows where the dump is that it's been dumped. And it's a fucking massive dump.
Oh, no. It's like, imagine that.
Right.
That's like a nightmare. How much is it?
Well, he only bought a few Bitcoin at the time, but they were going for like, £1 a Bitcoin or something mental like that. This Bitcoin is now worth £600 million.
Oh, no.
Now, you can find this hard drive, download the wallet.
Yeah.
He's got it there. He's suddenly he's got £500 million in his pocket. You know?
No.
But they've said to him now he's been trawling this landfill, trying to go through it all bit by bit, grid system, digging stuff up. He's a known person. His last 10 years he's been living like a hobo, digging through a tip.
And just on that promise, your whole life goes the polar opposite. You're in gold toilets.
He's got no more money than we have, sort of thing. So he's like an ordinary Joe with the potential of being nearly a billionaire.
Oh, the obsession.
And that's what it is. His life has now been put on hold because of this. Now, they've said to him now, enough's enough, you can't dig up at this tip anymore. We can't let you on board. It's ridiculous, you can't do this. So what he's decided to do is going to try get together almost like a conglomerate, like as if you're a prospector.
Yeah.
He wants to buy the entire tip.
And anybody who goes in to help buy it gets a cut slice.
I think that's what it'll be a little bit. But you wouldn't be able to trust anyone, would you?
No.
Me and you walk in there and you suddenly find this black bag and you find the hard drive in it. Yeah, that's going undercoat,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Oh,
because you're not mining for like bits of gold.
So you're saying come dig with me?
I think that's the general idea.
Right, I'll keep searching on my own.
Well, he'll have to somehow get the money together to buy all this land and this entire tip. Now, although it's literally a shit tip, it's worth a lot of money. It's a lot of land. It's a huge area.
And a lot of times they'll just do it and then they'll build on it in years to come.
And they'll sell it off and probably get millions for that. Just as it stands, it'll probably become a nature reserve or something mental like that. You know what I mean? Highly toxic, but you know what I mean? But these things happen. But this poor fucker, right? He's saying it's now because it will be closed soon because it's now 80 to 90% full. is this tip. It's in Newport area, right? So near Cardiff kind of thing. But now that's what he's wanting to do. Say, look, can I possibly buy it? Because if I do manage to find this hard drive, I'm going to be an incredibly rich man. I'll pay you back when I find it, sort of thing. Yeah. Don't work like that. Oh. But what I find sad is this guy's now 39. Since he was 27, he's been on this mission. You know, this is his whole life now.
He won't ever be right even if he finds it. I don't think you're mental.
At what point do you stop looking? That's the thing. You know, because it's like, if you find it and you get your money, that's what your life is. You're a searcher, you're a hunter now. It's in your blood, it's in your DNA. Do you
Have
just
you ever seen that? Bless him, Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened with that one, you know what I mean? But
that's
have you ever seen that one where he's a prospector?
No.
All his life, he's digging, and he's got a little tent and he's digging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The old movie's that. And then suddenly he's got it. He's hit the end scene. I hope I get this right. He's him in a little tent in one of his rooms. He's built his little shitty tent up again in this massive palace. You know what I mean? Yeah. He lives in his little tent because that's where he feels better. You know what I mean? And he says, "All right, now, I used to have everything, and now I've got everything."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That twist on words where the hunt were the thing.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. This is the issue when people say, "Well, why are you still doing all this when you've got so many millions?" Because that is not what we are. We're not a dragon. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're not
certain people. I could just go swim in a pool all day.
Yeah, you could actually. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's me. Happy. You know what I mean? But other people, they can't. They need that shit, don't they?
Well, I'm that way. I love the fact that I've got my mission.
Yeah,
and I know that'll be to my dying breath that mission will be me. You know what I mean? I know that I need to. It's not about. I'm now describing it to somebody today. Although I can earn a living doing this. It's any money I earn, it buys time in the studio to learn more, to make more, to improve my skills, to sort of try achieve the perfect print. You know what I mean? And I never will.
With that. Well, you know, I missed bus on that one. I was like, I didn't even know it would come in. Like, what?
Weird thing is, people said to me, somehow said to me, "Oh, it's all right for you. You've got this thing." You know what I mean?
I don't want that. That ain't a good thing for me.
But the thing is, I have got that thing. But what they forget is that I started this journey from not being able to do it. And all I've done is I've absolutely devoted myself to one skill and craft over the last 8 years until I've honed it and got to a level, at a professional level. So it's not like, I think you could probably do it with anything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You could probably do
manifested it up. You can, if you put the time in, you're going to get it.
So it's not. It's all right for me. I've sweated over this shit. And that's the thing where it shows utter devotion. I'm gonna have a little secret confession to you here, right? Yeah. I like the early heats of Britain's Got Talent. Right?
Fair play,
And another thing is, it's one of the things that almost gets me crying. Right, there were a woman on it, this thing, right? She was about 28, 29, you know, she was really in bad shape physically. She was obviously heavy, you know what I mean? And she'd come wandering going, "All right," you know what I mean? And they're going, "Oh, so, you know, I'm here with me mum and with me friend, and then with me daughter." And she's gawky and all sorts, you know. I said, "What do you do for a living?" And she goes, "Cook chickens in supermarket," you know. And she sung, and she had this insanely good voice.
Wow.
Beautiful, powerful, amazing. You think, this is what humans can do. We can cook chickens all day long. We can... She's obviously, diet must be pretty bad to get to the size she is, you know what I mean? So she doesn't know how to look after herself as well as she should do, or she chooses not to. She can open her mouth and sing this incredible, you know, it's amazing.
It's a shame that, like Dojo Cat or something showing her arsehole off on stage, and then it's like she's actually got a fucking voice and she's cooking chickens. It's fucking.
But this is humans, but you know, then you could, whatever who we are, we can teach, because we are an amazing species. We can teach ourselves, should we decide to devote ourselves to it, to do the most amazing things, the skills, the crafts, the amazing... If there was any other creature on the earth that was doing this, that was, if you saw like a jellyfish,
really trying
a little orifice on its mouth, and somebody sing this amazing song, we wouldn't look at jellyfish the way we do. I'm not saying she's a jellyfish.
But I don't think I'll look at jellyfish the same anyway now. Because I'll just see you singing like, fuck.
Yeah, you hope one will sing. But he's like, oh, it doesn't matter where the human is.
Yeah.
Or where they're from, that is still, if you were to pick somebody who was in absolutely on its arse as a human, and all the other humans were wiped out, that would be the most advanced species on the planet still.
It's true,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You talked about those boozers with really good hair, who come in and out of pubs sort of like every 4 minutes for a fag. The proper booze hounds. If he was the last bloke on the planet, he'd be the most advanced species that's ever lived still.
It's true. It is true that. I remember being in Thailand, as thick as fuck I am, you know what I mean? They were like, years ago when I first got there, these Thai farmers kind of got around me because I'd never really talked to a Westerner before, and they were like, someone were translating, they're like, what do you know about farming? And I'm like, fuck all, you know, we're shit at school, you know what I mean? But I know something like crop rotation, like you work a field, have an animal on a field, have something else on a field, and then you rotate it, but you leave one, you know what I mean? You leave it to rest, and they're all like, oh, fuck, you serious? You rested? I'm like, yeah, you got to rest it, you know what I mean?
Follow field,
And they're all like, oh, shit, you know? I started looking, you know, farm looking on, like, why is it all dusty and that? Why ain't there no mud, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, fuck, I've actually been cleverest when it Me? Honestly, you lot, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
They think you're like some sort of... You're like Jeremy Clarkson.
Exactly. I'm like, no. Someone needs to come educate you. That's like...
I think that's the thing about the whole planet, is the fact that we can learn. We have the possibility of learning. But isn't it bizarre that something that your average child learns in a school in England... That's their profession is farming. It's not filtered down that far.
No one told them.
There's farms all over the planet that aren't doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happened with the Dust Bowl in America. You know what I mean? You know, absolutely, grapes of wrath kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like, and you look at that and you think, yeah, but people just didn't know. Yeah. But that's the power of education and learning. This is why,
it's true.
But this is again why learning is such an important thing. And we should, people. I forgot. I think it was on Stu McConey's show on Radio 4 the other day, and they were talking about how it's such an insidious thing that we think education should be something where you're learning to do a job to earn a living, but education for education. I mean, that's not been of no use to you in your life, is the problem?
Never.
But you've known it.
You
know, and it's an important piece of knowledge that you have. And you don't know when you'll need that knowledge, but once in a while it'll crop up. That kid.
Crop up? like what you did there? Like what you did, Skip?
Fucking hell. Just a little bit of an odd one that I found, and it's one of these things, you have like you have Airbnbs and little rented holiday houses.
They're fucking horrible at Airbnb. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never trusted it. I'd rather go. One of my favourite things is an absolutely neutral hotel, like a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Where you turn up and all right, you don't want to cast the like a luminol on anywhere, or you don't want a blue light on covers, or you want you want to just keep it quiet. But you just want it to look all the same, so you know what you're going to come into. You want that slightly boring but kind of nice bathroom with a fan in it. Because it's like, I like
it's
that.
just fucking all the same. They all just look the same.
You want that. You don't. So this idea of going to a quirky Airbnb isn't for me. And this is what a family got a holiday let, right? And it was in Northern Ireland, which I thought was a bit of a weird one, right? But it's not a cheap chuck, this one. It's fucking £300 a night.
What?
For this one, right? So this guy and his family, right, so he's there with his wife, he's there with, I think they've got like 4 kids as well, so 4 kids rocking up to the old holiday let, and you're thinking, here we go, holiday time kids,
£300 a night?
And £300 a night, so this is meant to be a really good one, you know what I mean? And when they rocked up, they said they described where they were met by a blood-stained mattress, unsecured medication, so in the old medicine cabinet, so they've got 4 kids kicking about, there's also alt meds are kicking about, right? And a master bedroom full of sex toys and bondage gear.
Whoa! Hello.
So I mean, if you, it is kind of hello, but you won't want it on. You won't get, hey up, pal, let's look at it.
You won't, not used. Yeah. Oh, it smells still. Let me get it under the tap.
I have told that story about that.
I don't know if you've done it on here. The amount of times I've told that story is insane.
And that was the bloke who used to do council house clearances, you know, and he was horrible. He used to talk like this. He had emphysema, his lungs were fucked. And he was saying, like, you know, things I found before in these houses when I've been clearing them, you know. I went into this wardrobe and I found this full bodysuit, and it was made of like tight material. And he had tits on it and a full mott. And I'm like, full mott, right, big hairy mott on it.
Oh.
And I says, oh, right, that's lovely, you know. And he's like going, yeah, so I got rid of them. We had to clear them out. He said, but then I found these two beautiful wigs, a blonde one and a brunette wig. Beautiful, real human hair. I'm like going, oh, right, wigs with human hair. And they're like, yeah, so I kept them. And I'm like, all right. He says, then I found this box full of fucking dildos.
Didn't it say wooden dildos?
No, only one wooden.
Right.
Just full of dildos. Yeah. One of them were a strap-on, and one of all these. But when he'd found him, it was sort of 70s or 80s.
Yeah,
so these were weird things to find.
Yeah.
And I said, well, where'd you been? Them? He said, no, I kept them. I'm like going, you kept the wigs and the dildos? And he says, I had some right fun with them. I'm like going, what do you mean right fun? He says, well, he were having an affair at the time with this bloke, and he says, see, I were having a bit of fun with this woman outside at the time. So what I did, I took all these dildos home and put them in Dettol overnight.
A bucket of Dettol. That's how he did it.
Dropped them in a bucket of Dettol overnight. Like,
that's better, dropped them. Yeah, you know, not playing.
Like garage.
You know that noise of all eating tin bucket?
Yeah, plosh. Loads of rubber knobs hitting Dettol. Right. And he says, so me and this lass, we had some right fun with them dildos over days afterwards. That says, well, what did you do with wigs then? Oh, well, she was completely bald. So what? So she used to put these wigs on as well while we're having a bit of fun. I'm like,
just so happens.
This lass I was knocking off were completely bald.
You dirty old bastard.
The picture it conjured. All this is adding up more questions than...
This is like a whirlpool, isn't it? It's like a black hole or something. You're just like, no, I don't want to get sucked into these. Yeah. Stop it.
It create more questions than answers. I just want to make confused.
Yeah, forever.
And you're like, is this what real world's like?
Yeah, terrifying.
Well, that's always been like since because I was, you're exposed to the monstrous quite early when you work in factories and things, you know, and you sort of presume to yourself, this is what normal world's like.
And it's not.
It's not.
No. It's down at bottom. That's what it's like.
Yeah, you're trudging at bottom, going, "Oh, world's a bit dark, isn't it?" And everybody in real world's going, well, it's not. Yeah. Actually, it's fine.
Don't hang around down there. It's fucking awful.
Out of that. Yeah, it's fucking awful. It's like a horror show. You want to get out of that and get into light, kid. That's what you need. You need to stop hanging about with the guys with a bucket full of dildos in Dettol when a ball.
I tell you what, I couldn't leave it alone. You know, for long, I'd have to go back. You know what I mean?
You're hooked. I wouldn't.
I am absolutely.
You're hooked on the darkness. Well, what you need to do is you need to book an Airbnb. You know what I mean?
Bondage, pills. Sounds alright, actually.
Yeah. Apparently, we quickly moved the children into the kitchen to get away from all this. Well, we found an open bottle of nicotine vape liquid on a worktop and checked the other bedside cabinets and wardrobe. These contained even more items, including ropes, whips, penis enlargers, handcuffs, and opened tubes of lubricant. The house had not been cleaned and contained soiled upholstery and mouldy food. It's sordid, isn't it? It's
300 fucking quid.
So Norris contacted the host, who, he said, suggested he would be accused of damaging the property if he pursued a refund. So he sort of said to him, he's contacted the host and said, look, it's all this horse shit. And he's turned around and said to him, so tell you what, if you dob us in for that, I'll say you smashed all the good stuff in it.
Keep your deposit.
Yeah. So he's been
that's rough.
Yeah, he's been bent over. With all the aggro that went on, so he had to fork out $2,000, this guy.
What? Why?
Because he's had to pay up. So and it says apparently Vibo, whether it's through, or Verbo, whether they offered him £1,000 in compensation, right?
So he's got some money back?
Well, they've offered him it, but he's not accepted it. I think it's going through the courts at the moment.
Wow.
Can you imagine, though? I mean, I don't know what it's like for you. I don't get to go on holiday very often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're like, right, here we go, we're $3,000 up here. It's a lot of money, is this?
Yeah.
You know, a couple of grand, so it's going to be all spendies and that. In we go into holiday, like kids, and there's that lot there.
I never do it. I told you that last time we went to Edinburgh. I told you about it. You know when I was touching that little what's he called, that dog?
That's it, yeah.
And we were trying to find Airbnb, you know. We got it on street maps and all that Google shit. I'm like, where the fuck is it? And there's this really dodgy fucking alleyway, you know what I mean? So I told all the families, right, we're top there, do not come down. Let me just, like, scout it out a bit. And I walked down and just fucking gently looked round this corner. Massive Scotch man, fucking big ginger hair, pissing all over the door of our Airbnb. And I'm like, and I actually said sorry. Because I'm playing with his knob out. He just turned around with big red head and that. And I scampered back like, no, just clear out away a minute. And then he come wandering out. I'm like, came down, you know, the little thing with key in it. The big piss puddle where he's been. And I have to do fucking thing to get key out. I'm like,
but you got to realise you got to pay extra for that kind of service in Scotland. Local colour, that is.
He is. Said he
that's his job.
Clean the step.
He were on his way to another Airbnb now. You were just going to get a load more tenants down his throat. You know what I mean?
Piss all tab ends away.
That's his full-time job.
Where do you think tab ends go?
Yeah. Scottish pisser. That's what his job is.
Put me right off. You know what I mean? It was like, you're all right with Airbnb, but tell you was shy. You know what I mean?
I've been in too many hotels last year, and coming up this year, I've got some right hotel visits to do, and I've got to find out. All I'm going to do is pay a little bit extra and go to just standard chains.
Yeah.
Because the places I've been to, the last one I stayed in, where these fucking drunks were threatening to stab each other, and being racist and all sorts, and homophobic.
You need to feel safe in a hotel. If you're in a hotel by yourself, you need to feel safe enough to wank yourself stupid. You know what I mean?
I remember y'all talking of hotel visits where you had people trying to smash a door in and all sorts of stuff.
Just because we were wanking that loud.
Yeah.
Get off yourself!
You dirty lad rolling round. So I hope that works out for him.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I hope they get good luck in the court system.
Good luck in the court system there.
Yeah.
But what I can't figure is imagine if you're your house and you sort of think, this will do for people.
I don't know.
Are you going to put the rubber knobs away? No, they might find them interesting. What about medicine? If you're going to open up your house as an Airbnb, if I were doing it, I'd be going around a room to room every day. Is that right? Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I better leave like a nice little cheese board or a sort of like local, a nice
bit of milk in fridge or something.
Bit of milk and a loaf, something like that. You know what I mean? A little box of chocolates or something. Make people feel welcome. Maybe their idea of welcome is a load of bondage gears, penis enlargers, and a load of blood on fucking... bon appetit, put yourself out.
Bon appetit. Oh, it's fucking wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus
dark,
Christ.
Dark.
Is it that time already? Saying that, fuck me, I don't think I can stomach much more.
Well, we haven't covered as much ground as we normally do, but as usual, we've had a freewheeling witter about all sorts of nonsense, you know.
Very true.
Which is what the Cove's all about, really. I think sometimes it's not the subject matter; it's what's in between. So
yeah, definitely.
I think that's all part of it, really. Sometimes, but. I think we need to like a bit of a return to our roots. I think we need to go down the route of a cryptid.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So away from the crypto coins that's in a tip somewhere. Let's go like what crypto should really be about, and it's it's a cryptid creature. And we're going to America for this one. And I found this one really interesting. And I found a couple of references to it here and there, right? And it reminds me of a different cryptid somehow.
Aye.
But this one, I've got a couple of bits for it, right? And the main one for this creature called the Splintercat.
Isn't that from fucking Thundercats?
Yeah, might well. Well, there was one called Splinter.
Yeah, I'm sure there was called Splinter. Then hang
on, wasn't Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, we're mixing it all up now, aren't we?
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So this is from Wikipedia for this one, and it says a Splintercat is a legendary fearsome critter in the folklore of the United States. The Splintercat is a nocturnal feline of great ferocity. It flies through the air with terrific speed, and when it hits a large tree, it knocks the branches off, withers the trunk, and leaves it standing like a silvery ghost.
What the fuck? A flying cat?
These dead snags can be seen in many parts of the Pacific Northwest, where the Splintercats hit them and blow the tree to pieces, right?
Fun.
And he says the Splintercat performs these feats that is named after it to expose raccoons and bees. Let's just cover that again.
Whoa.
Raccoons and bees.
That's all he's flying through the air for it.
There's a flying cat whizzing around trying to get raccoons and bees.
Quite a good mix, I suppose, for a cat.
Yeah, smearing honey and a raccoon. I thought,
Yeah.
But however, the act of breaking open the trees with its head
Wow, right.
leaves it with a constant headache, which causes it to be always in a foul mood.
Ooh, bit grumpy cat.
Bit grumpy.
Grumpy cat is on the loose.
Yeah, grumpy cat. So the Splinter Creek area of the Cascade Range of Oregon is named after this creature, this cryptid. But the Splintercat also appears in a 1974 children's book, The Last Really Great Wang Doodles, by Julie Andrews Edwards. Yeah.
Am I in a fucking dream again?
Yeah. This particular Splintercat answers to the Prime Minister of Wang Doodleland and also enjoys playing Cat's Cradle. Don't know what
Don't
Cat's
we
Cradle.
all?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Bit of string in it when you do that.
Oh, right, is that what it is? Yeah. An alternate version of the Splintercat legend comes from Nova Scotia. In this version, they come out at night in winter. And if you spend time in the woods during the winter, you can hear the trees crack from frost expanding. In a quiet wood, this sound is eerie and loud, and is said to be a Splintercat emerging from a tree after a long summer hibernation. They are described as having exceptionally long claws and incredibly powerful legs. Their fur is patterned and coloured similar to the bark of their favourite trees, and they are perfectly still and leap on their prey from the shadow.
Whoa, that's good.
So that's the Splintercat, you know.
Splintercat.
But what the account, I've got some other accounts of it, you know, but what the basically, that is the basis of it. Now, I find it really interesting, the Splintercat, because a lot of people, there's other accounts all online about it. It's actually very well documented.
Just Americas.
Just Americas, that's
And
what
it does
it's from.
sweep down from Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, so I
That's
think.
above Canada, is it? Right
No,
inside
it's,
of it?
it kind of it's on the level. It's on the same sort of like
And then it sweeps right down into America.
Yeah, but it's mainly in the cold regions. Cold regions, that's where you're talking about. So it's a northern or it's a west coast as well. So it's that sort of regions, Nova Scotia. So it's staying up towards the Canada border, I'd imagine. You know, the Splintercat sounds more like it's the west coast, higher up, where it's called. You know where Rambo wandered.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But it's true what they say though. The noise there, this exploding trees, because what happens is when it gets really cold, the sap expands in trees.
Yeah.
When it expands too much, it blows up.
I remember it from Sven Hasselbuck.
I was about to say that. That's exactly true. Yeah.
That was
So
great.
on the Russian front, this happened all the
Yeah.
time. It sounded like gunfire and explosions, but it was just trees exploding from sap.
Jesus.
So what they'd say is, as well, they're wandering around in the summer months, they'd find a tree that's exploded and say, "What's happened to that tree?" It's the
Thundercat.
Splintercat.
Oh,
has
yeah.
got it. The Splintercat. Say, yeah, you're straight on Thundercat. You are.
Stop it,
Yeah. But yeah, but the thing that I find brilliant with the Splintercat is, right, loads of people believe it, people talk about it, that's the reason for this happening, this is why it's a Splintercat. No one's ever seen one. There's been no sighting of the Splintercat.
They're flying about, that's why.
Yeah, busy lads.
Supersonic.
At night, Splintercats. Well, of course, it's at night when the temperature really drops. And when the temperature drops, that's when you hear the explosive noises. That's when the Splintercat's about.
That's what he's about, because he sounds perfectly still. He's the same colour as the tree. You're never going to spot one.
Yeah, but this is why I think that the cryptid, it reminds me of a weird way, is the drop bear. The idea that it hides and is silent. Yeah, this is it.
Isn't that the koala?
It's
the
a
drop
koala,
bear?
yeah, that's it.
That is pretty funny.
Well, it is, but the thing is, well, with the drop bear is, you know, basically what the drop bear is, we have talked about it on the show before, and it is a bear that hides in trees and waits until you walk underneath it and drops on you and kills you and eats you, sort of thing. They have found monstrous carnivorous sloths in Australia, skeletons of them and things. And what they would do is hang in trees and drop onto people. So you wonder, you sort of think, now then, you know, some of these marsupials that were about at that time might have true well been, and these stories might have been passed on by the Aboriginal people staples of Australia and have filtered into sort of like our own myths and folklore.
It's a good technique to do it though, just laying still in a tree and that plummet down on someone. You ain't got a fucking chance, have you?
Two of the most successful animals, or the big cats in the world, do that, which is the jaguar and the leopard. That's what they do. They're an ambush predator.
Up a tree, like?
Both.
Well,
so they'll be up
fucking
trees and stuff.
scary.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I won't like that. Well, see, this is where dogs are stupid. They just run around barking at you and chase you down until they eventually catch you and eat you.
I prefer that.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. At least you got a chance. You know where they are. Just fucking walking along having a Mars bar and bang, fucking drops on your head. You're in a full furry fight with somebody. You don't even know what it is. No, I don't like that.
You don't like that at all.
No.
So it's no Splintercats for Bennies.
Fucking Mars bar. Why did you think of that? Yeah, no Splintercats or Thundercats. I've had enough of both of them.
No, we don't need anything like that. But this is the one sure cure for or a way you're not going to get attacked by a Splintercat, though. Lighthouses.
Yes. No trees. We've got a tree
Many
here,
metres deeper than we just shut off.
We're higher than everybody.
Well, we can see them coming if we need to, you know what I mean?
absolutely.
So talking about seeing them coming, I think we should get back up to that light and see if there's any juicy ships we need to sort of wreck on our rocks.
Let's get a few more in. Don't worry, look at his claws. We get lucky again.
I've just been checking on the old wireless and stuff like that, and I've heard that the HMS Birdseye's on its way through with a fresh container load of fish fingers.
Fucking let's pull him in.
Turn that light off.
On me goes.
Let's get wrecking.
Come to daddy.
So all it remains for me to do now is say it's a big bye-bye from Matt.
It's a bigger bye-bye from Benny, and you take care, guys.
There are 3 ways you may contact Kraken Cove. Either by email at krakencovepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter @Kraken Cove, or Instagram @Kraken Cove Pod. Ha ha!